If you have a car, petrol or diesel, that costs over £40,000, then right now you have to pay extra excise duty or vehicle excise duty, often referred to as the luxury car tax. Now, you could say that this is fair because if you're spending over 40 grand, that's a luxury car. But when this starts to affect cars that, for me, shouldn't really be in the luxury car tax bracket, is it time to, well, change that? To change the 40 grand barrier in some way, shape or form? Because in the last 6 months to a year-ish, the inflation, the massive increase of the cost of, well, everything, let alone cars, means that, well, you don't quite get what you used to for that amount of money. Now, don't get me wrong, I expect this to divide the comment section immensely because, well, 40 grand's a lot of money. But I'm going to give you a few examples of cars that go over that bracket and then, well, just leave it over to you really in terms of, is it time to change things? Kind of like changing the barrier of stamp duty. If it was, let's say, £250,000, that's a lot of money. But if a lot of houses are going for more than that, then you get my point. So let me give you a few key points, key examples of what at the moment cars cost. Now, as this is an electric car channel, I suppose I better mention them as well, because from 2025 onwards, April, you'll have to pay that luxury car tax on an electric vehicle that costs over £40,000 as well, which means it's going to affect most EVs because they're still more expensive than their petrol counterparts. But this is across the board. This is all cars, petrol, diesel and electric. Should we be changing this barrier? So let me give you a couple of examples of how much cars cost today, because I think a lot of people out there that say, I don't know, electric cars are for the rich. I get that a lot in this electric car comments, and I get it, I really do. But when you're looking at, well, something like this, a Volkswagen Polo. This is the base spec, the poverty spec Volkswagen Polo with the cheapest engine. Essentially, it's the cheapest Polo in terms of list price you can buy. Just over £20,000 for a Polo. That for me is excessive, but it's how much they cost. A Ford Fiesta, when they still sold it anyway, was I think 19.5. This is a Polo GTI Edition 25 with all the options ticked. Nearly £35,000 for a Polo? Now, one of the best-selling cars that you can buy in Europe today is the Volkswagen T-Roc. So I thought, well, let's go for one of them. This is not the T-Roc R, which is the same as the Golf R, which is a high-performance vehicle, if you will. You know, it's very, very fast. This is the T-Roc 2-litre TDI 4Motion. And yes, I have ticked every box I could find on the options list, which granted no one does, but you can see what I'm trying to say here. How much do you think a T-Roc 2-litre TDI 4Motion with all the options ticked actually costs in terms of list price? £48,095 for a T-Roc. It's just a jacked up Volkswagen Golf. The cheapest Ford Galaxy, which again I would not class as a luxury car at all. It's nice, it's very nice, it's got lots of seats, it's big. That starts, again, the cheapest one you can buy at £40,725. Focus ST Estate with just a couple of options ticked, over £40,000. Octavia VRS Estate with, again, just a few options ticked, £41,000. Just for giggles, I thought, let's go a bit lower here. A Renault Captur with everything ticked, the most expensive one you can buy. 36,384 quid for a Captur. Now, this is one that I think speaks volumes from someone who's a hot hatch fan who likes performance vehicles, me. A Golf GTI. That starts, again, with nothing on it at £39,435. If you just pick one thing, so let's imagine I want the base spec GTI with a colour, then all of a sudden it's over that luxury car tax bracket, £40,145. Is a Golf GTI a luxury car? I don't know. But according to the tax bracket, it is. So is it time we need to reevaluate The bracket, which only came out in, I think, April 2021. It's not been around that long. But in that 2 years alone, cars have shot up in value, in price rather, immensely. And then when you factor in the electric cars, of course, well, this is mostly under 40 grand. But you can get some spec levels that are above 40 grand. Is a Renault Megane, even an electric one, which carries a surcharge in terms of, you know, that they cost more than their petrol counterparts? Is this a luxury car I'm sat in right now? Probably not. A car that's 39,999 is zero. Go up a quid or a couple of quid and all of a sudden you're paying that £390 extra per year for 5 years just because it goes over a barrier. But also, if you buy a Porsche Taycan at, let's say, £120,000, you're still paying the same rate as that, well, as a Megane E-Tech will be in 2025. So what is my brilliant solution to this? Well, I don't really have one. I've only put a little bit of thought into this, but for me a staggered approach seems a better option because that will then be fairer as the market changes over time. I don't see prices coming down at all, ever. So, I don't know, let's just pick something random. Anything over £25,000 is 50 quid on top of your normal car tax rate. Anything from £30,000 to 35 is 100 quid. Anything from 35 to 40 is 150 pounds. Then 200, then 250, then you get my point. For the next 5 years that you tax the car, you pay that. But it's based on how much the car actually costs and is scalable. 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100,000 pounds. I want people to put electric cars out their heads when commenting. If you hate EVs, A, why are you watching this channel? But B, this isn't about the electric car thing costing more. This is about all cars costing more. So there's my thoughts. £40,000 a lot of money, but is it luxury money? Is there something that you can think of that is a better idea of what I've said or anyone else has said? Do you think we should keep the 40 grand barrier as it is? Should we have a cheaper but lower bracket and then stagger it up? Let me know what you think. So there we go. Tax, tax, tax. We all have to pay it. Is this something that needs altering? Even though it's only been around just over, what, 2.5 years? It's already kind of out of date for me. That's it. Should we change luxury tax, as it's referred to something else? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Remember, Driving Home is my second YouTube channel. That's where the podcast now resides, and behind the scenes personal vloggy stuff as well. Please go in the description for the link to that and subscribe to both channels if you can. All the usual YouTube gump. You've heard it a million times before, like, subscribe and so forth. So thanks for watching this. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you soon.